The Experience Pros radio show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a fan bragging story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Braggin' hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG. FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Experience Pros radio show. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us for ours. A great friend of ours and a resident authority when it comes to rental properties and property management is on the line with us.
Right. Our celebrity of the day is Devin Bewley with Legacy Property Management. And I know when we think about this day and age and diversifying and being property owners and taking advantage of, you know, all the different prices and things that are going on in the rental market, it is nice to have a go-to guy that you can ask all the hard questions when it comes to anything about renting your property. He's got a great landing page, rentalpropertysavings.com, rentalpropertysavings.com, where you can actually determine whether or not your greatest asset is really an asset or should we be selling it? Should you sell it or should you rent it? Devin Bewley, Legacy Property Management. Welcome to Experience Pros.
Hi, folks. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. Very nice to have you. All right. So the problem, as we understand it, Devin, is that homeowners really don't know their most cost-effective resolution, whether they should sell or rent out. Let's address that at the surface level. When does this conversation come up?
Well, it really needs to come up early on. At the first start of their planning of, we have this option, we have an opportunity, what's the best way to move on this? Because you really have to take into account more than just, can you cover your mortgage payment and your HOA?
Like what? Like what else? Because I think that's where we land.
Right.
Right.
So if you're counting on your rent every month to cover all your bills, and still pocket a little bit, then what do you do for your insurance for the year? Where does that come out of?
Right.
So is there, so do we have to take like this, kind of this equation of everything like that we spend on landscaping and on insurance and taxes and maintenance? I mean, do we put all of that into the equation and then even kind of put in a little padding in that? I mean, that seems like that's going to get really expensive really fast.
Well, it can, but some of the stuff that you're used to spending on your house, the everyday kinds of things, even your landscaping, your water bill, your heat bill, that's going to be shifted over to the tenant.
Yeah, so absolutely. And when
there's a whole, you got to kind of play around with, okay, what numbers are real here? What ones do you really have to deal with?
And how do we know that? Because I think you just said, right? We think it's our mortgage and, maybe a little bit extra, and that should cover it. How often, Devin, do you see homeowners underestimate the cost and how much they should be charging, and then get over their heads or get underwater in what they think is going to be this income?
Probably 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay. So if 9 out of 10 people don't do the mental math on all the different things that they need in order to make the decision of whether they should sell or should they rent, is the answer automatically they should sell?
No, it certainly isn't. Sometimes even the sell isn't the best option. There's tax implications when you sell your house.
Okay.
Are you going to sell it and get a smaller house? Maybe you're downsizing. If you are, you probably have a tax event happening.
A tax event.
The tax event.
Tax event. Yes. Or are you going up in size?
Okay.
Maybe you don't have a tax event at that point. Or are you going to diversify? You know, maybe you are going to split it out between 2 homes. Yeah. That all depends on what your plan is, where you want to end up.
So then, Devin, what is the solution?
I was going to say, hold on before that, because I know you've got the solution. Do we also have to take into account maybe months that it might sit empty? I mean, do we have to factor those numbers in too?
Absolutely. Typically, you need to look at 1 to 2 months that don't have rent coming in.
Okay. All right. So see, I think this is like the thing that people get freaked out about. Like, I don't know how much to charge and I don't know what all to put in there. What do we do when it's empty? Maybe I should just sell it. And yet then I know other people get this right. So what is the solution, Mr. Expert?
Well, the best option, my best suggestion is to contact a professional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let them walk you through it. Let them help you figure out what are the best options. What costs do you need to incur? What costs can you pass along?
So, Devin,
where do you need to be at?
Do you need to, when you say contact a professional, are you talking about a lawyer? Are you talking about a real estate agent? Are you talking about a mortgage expert? Or are you talking about a rental or a property manager?
Honestly, I would suggest contacting 2 of them. One is the property manager.
All right.
They can help you estimate sale price, even if they don't do sales. They can help you estimate the rental costs and what it's going to take to get your house rent ready.
Is it true that property managers must be real estate agents?
Yes, absolutely. If you are going to manage a home that you do not own at least 51% of, you have to have your real estate license in this state.
In the state of Colorado.
Yes.
Just want to make sure that's clear for those of us listening elsewhere. All right.
In most states, that's the case.
You talk about there being some online tools that help assess options as well.
Mm-hmm. There are.
Could you expound on that?
Well, there's a few sites out there that will help you estimate what to rent it for based on what has rented in the area. But you really have to know the square footage and the room space. And, well, okay, that one's 1.5 miles away, but that's a different grouping of people that rent over there. So those prices don't necessarily match up. That's what your professional property manager is going to be able to do for you. They'll know what those areas are. They'll know how to identify A versus B, what types of properties, and you'll see them listed for absurd amounts or way too little. And we can take a look at that and go, yeah, that one's not right. That one's not real. That one's mom renting to her son.
That happens. And it skews the market.
Yes. When you see a 3,000 square foot home for rent for $800, that's mom renting to kid.
Yeah.
Grandkid, more likely.
Our listeners, Les Chasen says most consumers don't know what they become landlords, and I think he makes the case for us, right? That in fact we do need the professional. They're a professional that you recommended, and that was a tax professional, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
All right.
You need to be able to talk to them about what is that going to do for you and how to handle it.
All right, folks, we're talking to Devin Bewley from Legacy Properties PM. You can find information on his website at legacyproperties-pm.com. That's legacyproperties-pm.com, or just pick up the phone and call 720-989-1996. That's 720-989-1996. And Devin, you've pretty much made the case that if you get into that place where you're either going to sell your home or rent it out, turn it into an investment property, you really do need to talk to the professionals.
Yes.
Yes.
A final word of thought from you that may inspire us to take that first step?
Well, if you choose to market it yourself and use the wrong sentence, it can cost you $10,000 to $40,000.
Yeah, we've had a great conversations on that. Devin Bewley, don't do this. Don't try this at home, folks. I mean, it's one of those you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. It can be a really expensive lesson to learn. This is not one of those things we recommend that you do it yourself. Devin, give that phone number one more time.
720-989-1996.
Devin Bewley, thank you for joining us on the Experience Pros Radio Show.
Thank you, folks. Have a great day.
All right. That's Devin with Legacy Properties -PM. And boy, I'll tell you what, you don't want to do that on your own. It's your biggest investment. Don't mess it up.
No.
All right. We'll be back right after these messages. You're listening to Angel and Eric, and this is the Experience Pros Radio Network,
America's home for positive business talk. You're listening to the